Well, that was a process. Hello, and welcome back to my GTNH playthrough. It is Saturday, 11:15. I don't normally do videos on Saturday, but I figured today was worth it because I played quite a bit and was able to get a fair amount accomplished. Or really, one major goal with a lot of little steps accomplished, which for me was getting these trinium blocks. I will say, I still don't remember why I was actually fiending for these. I think it has something to do with supercritical steam and powering that way, but honestly, it's been a hot minute since whatever ingot I needed was locked behind this trinium coil blocks. But I crafted 52 to start with to basically upgrade the 4 Volcanuses that are the main ones that operate my auto crafting, or not auto craft, yeah, auto crafting line. And then it probably won't be too long till I upgrade the passive Volcanuses down below, just because honestly these craft relatively fast. The only thing I just got to be conscientious about is running out of netherite, because I do like that was, I don't know the math. I forgot to check the number when I started, but it was definitely probably 50 or so of those that I used, and I only have 800, and the game has been running more than normal without like much progress. So for example, because I didn't have internet the other day, the server was still running on this computer, so I mean this 800 is like hours. So one of the things I will need to do for sure to keep moving forward will be shore up my netherite production, mainly probably dropping down more flotation towers and all that jazz. But at the moment, that's not what we're here for. It's just a note of things to work on. But I mean, I've set these guys to craft, and they're really fast, so that was cool, because I basically just did that and wandered off for a little bit. But where we left off yesterday for the netherite line was, well, technically we didn't touch the actual, or netherite line, prismarine line. We were up to here, and then where I left off yesterday, because I thought I didn't have enough strontium crafted, I forgot that the next step multiplies it, is coming to this LCR. Just friendly reminder, yesterday what we set up was specifically this entire section from these 2 blocks all the way over to that vacuum freezer over there, or a vacuum freezer, what are these called, vacuum furnace, is the strontium. So that guy this is all for strontium, which basically for our purposes got us back on track with the Prismarine line, because the strontium comes in up into this LCR right here, along with some oxygen and hydrogen, and then that makes us the strontium oxide, or I believe that's what it is. Strontium hydroxide, which then we use to move on to get the prismarine precipitate and continue through. So this guy's here. One thing I will note is the input for the strontium right here is not coming from the main network. I'm not using all the strontium. I might throw another stack in just as I go, but I'm not directly importing everything I craft, just because it takes so long, and I don't know. It looks like it's used for a couple other alloys and stuff, so I basically have this actually doing its self loop, so I just manually input 3 stacks of it earlier, I believe, and then just that 4th stack now, because I have had a couple random power failures, not from not being able to keep up with the power, but just from me forgetting to connect a wire and stuff. So I have randomly lost some, I know. So throw an extra stack in here, no big deal. Basically, that guy goes into here. This guy comes in, and then it mixes. If we follow this through, mixes with this prismarine rich nitrobenzene to make this precipitate. The precipitate then comes over to this laser engraver. So this was where we had side quest number 1. to get this magneto resonautic lens wasn't too big of a deal. I basically just had to set up some recipes to be able to craft the lens. I also had to set up a rock salt lens because I didn't have that or an amethyst one set up yet to be able to make this, but that was pretty straightforward. The other thing I needed to do was get this molten crystalline alloy. So this is, it's not too bad. You need to melt crystalline ingot. The crystalline ingot, however, we get from this crystalline alloy dust, which is a mixture of this grains of piezoality, which comes from the pulsating crystal. So I did set up in the level maintainer the pulsating crystal, as well as change the recipe, because this is what we were operating on before, because diamonds were a concern. Swapped over to this recipe, which is not only substantially faster, 120 seconds for 64, but just less steps. So we got just get a whole stack at once, which is real nice. And in the multi-block autoclave, this thing flies, like it goes really fast. So no big deal there. But like I said, you get that to get that grain, to then get the alloy dust, to ultimately get the molten alloy. So then we run that through the engraver, and then we get out the prismatic crystal as well as the molten strontium. The molten strontium just comes over here, solidifies, going to the macerator, and then it dumps back into the network and loops back around into this LCR and keeps on rolling. So if we were to look over here, I believe molten. I'm not really sure what's up with that. I must know. There must be something slower going. We go here. Oh yeah, we're full up on dust, so you can tell the strontium's keeping up because we have excess of dust here. So that little loop is fine for now. If we're ever in a situation where this guy is waiting on the dust, just dump more strontium back in. However, so that goes through the laser engraver. This is our little bit to make it a circular recipe. Comes over into this guy, makes prismatic gas, which the prismatic gas comes over into this vacuum freezer to combine with liquid nitrogen. This vacuum freezer right here is only making liquid nitrogen for this recipe here, which then this is where kind of the quest lines converge. And if you were to look at the quest book, so we got the prismatic gas, prismatic acid, which is what's made when you combine this with the liquid nitrogen. And then we get over to prismatic Nequata. So if you're looking at the quest book, we had enriched Nequata, which I don't really know what this is used for. Yeah, I don't know. We got plenty of that. And we had the enriched Nequata was kind of funny because I was only using it. I had most of this line set up before ZPM specifically, just because you get more Nequata as a byproduct. I saw that and I was like, oh yeah, I'll set that up, no big deal, keep that rolling. But yeah, these quests combine here, and then the last few steps, so we get the last side quest was this YSZ ceramic dust. So we need to do either zirconia or cubic zirconia. Now, just a small note, just so you don't get yourself confused, there's multiple types of zirconia. This zirconia right here, the Bartzwork one, will not work in the recipe. I thought it did, so because I have Hafnia zirconia that I had not been processing from the Monzonite line still. Like, I still haven't gone through and finished out those random forks in the quest book. So I thought, oh yeah, throw that in the centrifuge, get the zirconia to work. No, this stuff doesn't work, so you do have to do the cubic zirconia. So I got that, and then this yttrium oxide is the one I chose for this as well. And those ones I end up deciding to throw down a level maintainer up here. I'm going to try to make this like a best practice for going forward, where having level maintainers that are, even if they're on the main network, even though I have the level maintainer room down below, that are like specific to a process, just having them close over here, so that I can remember what's going on. And if I'm like, oh, one part's not keeping up fast enough, come over here, adjust it, what have you. So as you can see, there's two foils on here, which these are for the last step. So yeah, basically you get that ceramic dust though. combine it with the molten prismatic Nequata, which we're making over here in this alloy furnace, and then that stuff, we come over here, and this goes over into the dehydrator. So just again to be clear, this mixer is making that YSZ ceramic. This is where it's getting mixed into the actual line. Then it comes over here, which this one's running in dehydrator mode, which is different than that one. I probably would have done separate multi-blocks anyways, but I split them apart just because they are separate. One's vacuum furnace, one's a dehydrator. And that ultimately gets us these radiation-proof prismatic Nequata composite sheets. And then the last step I just have going on demand because it requires the netherite, so I don't want to do any sort of like passive running the netherite, especially until I like shore up everything, which is to get these Nequarite universal insulator foils. And then it's just a forming press. It does take molten manilium, which luckily I'd set up the other day, so I mean that's I remember that being like the ultimate ingot feeling back when I was playing kitchen sink in like 1.6 and stuff way back. It's like, get my cobalt and my ardite and boom, I've got the most powerful pick I can get. So yeah, it's kind of fun whenever recipe requires that, which this one does require. Though it would be what, 10 molten maniliums, or yeah, it is weird. I wonder why it's 1142 instead of 14. I guess that's 8. Yeah, 8 maniliums. But anyways, that's where we go there. And once you have that, you can, the trinium, for example, or trinium coils, I should finish my sentences, you use the 2x wire, and then instead of mica going forward, you use aquarite, which technically there's, because of the ceramic dust right here, this takes mica, or maybe it's this one takes mica. I think it's this one. Yeah, it's mica and the ceramic. But technically we are still using it, so I am glad I set that B up, because I have tons of mica now, because we got mica combs as well as the void miner. Yeah, so that's all I got done. It was quite a bit. It was pretty fun, especially the strontium was kind of like something out of left field for me that I did not realize was going to be such a big process. So that kind of threw my mojo off of that was going to be a thing. As for what I'm going to work on for the rest of the weekend, well, tonight I'm going to just kind of mess around and shore up a few things. I'm now, because of the way making nitrobenzene over there, funnily enough, like I have a ton of it, so I'm kind of tempted to set up and use some of it for power, just to like help supplement stuff, like maybe over here in the water line. I had thought about putting down plasma turbines, but I was like, if I'm just have all this nitrobenzene building up, maybe I can throw down like the XL turbine for that and do something, because I do remember reading some people use nitrobenzene all the way up till ZPM, so I don't know. It's a thought. Other random things I got done today. It was the fuel line, which I'm actually kind of curious if it started to catch up. It has not. Yeah, my C-Teen boosted diesel, for whatever reason, is taking a big hit. I'm curious if it's if the tanks and stuff are filling up finally. No, something is draining this diesel fuel, and I do not know what it is, because I've basically pulled everything off of running off that stuff, and I have no idea what is ultimately like where all the fuel's going. Because literally only one building in the main network is using that stuff. And the actual first thing I did today was I messed around with trying to speed that up. And then because the issue started after I had the void miners, excuse me, sorry about that. After the void miners, I was using the C-Teen boosted diesel through the under tanks to power the other side of the quantum links. just as like backup power in case the AE2 network ever fails over here or anything. Like I should, in theory, not have to go there. Instead, I actually crafted a bunch of solar panels and went and put those down. So now those aren't using diesel at all. So really, in theory, the only thing using diesel is these 3 lines of stuff, and these don't. Really, I actually took this stuff off too. Now that I think about it, it's these 2 lines of things, and none of this stuff like runs heavily. Okay, there's a couple plastics and stuff over here, but you know, like this is where the polyethylene, and technically it's like polyphenylene. Yes. Anyways, there isn't really much running over here all the time. So, except for, I guess, sulfuric acid, so maybe this guy. But that wouldn't be draining the whole system. But yeah, so that's something to work on. But I did, because of that, I moved my oil bee over into the bee network. Which that one is kind of, the oil bee is kind of a special one. Because the whole reason, if I ever actually make my bee video, which maybe that's what I should do, is take a pause and actually like make a bigger, larger video of some of the stuff. The oil bee in particular, though, this was the whole reason I got into bees to begin with. I was trying to figure out a passive way to get oil consistently without having to do any sort of intervention myself. So now we got the oil bee going. I'm actually curious how many combs I have, because I don't think or oil sands. So we are actually keeping up with oil sands, and I set up over there processing for oil sands, which is really straightforward. It goes in a centrifuge, goes in a distillation tower, and then goes into the rest of the oil network I have. I probably need to rework it. Actually, it's already a little bit longer. I'm kind of rambling, but I might as well show off anyways. So my actual oil rig is turned off right now, you can see, because that's empty. But why is none of this running? So that's running. No valid recipe. These guys are full. Did I really go through all my light fuel? That's so crazy. I am really curious. There's something goofy going on somewhere, and I don't know what is causing me to burn all my fuel. But yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, the oil sands come in here, come down here, come in here, and then join the rest of the fuel line. But all this is a whole lot of garbage that really should probably be redone if I want to actually use C18 boosted diesel for anything seriously. But it has problems already. That's crazy. Hasn't even been that long since I made the multi-block. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Gonna just kind of mess around. I think for major progression as next steps, like I said, I would like to set up supercritical steam. Now I think about it, I think that is what I was holding off with the trinium blocks for. Again, I could be wrong. The other thing, I would like to shore up some magic stuff, specifically because a lot of the magic stuff is what's used for solar panels, and I do have a feeling I'm going to use more solar panels just to kind of shore up power in random spots, because it is free energy, and right now I can craft easily EV solar panels, which I don't really use EV energy that much. The only thing holding me back from IV is, sorry, the screen flashing for a second there, but the fiery ingots. So I should be able to solve all those problems with bees. If I get fiery ingots on demand, I can make IV, and then I'm sure it'll be a similar story for the other tiers, as well as, like I said, to kind of go in and reinvigorate my blood magic, get myself the ability to do the meteor rituals. So I think meteor rituals, along with some more powerful solar panels, might be my next like little milestone I go for next week. But yeah, anyways, I'll try to stop rambling now and let everyone go. But I appreciate you watching. I hope everybody's having a good weekend, and I will see you Monday. Goodbye.